You ready for this?
I'm ready to cast it into the water.
No, we don't. No. You got to put this cricket on this hook.
Oh. Can you kill him first?
No, we want him alive. You ain't kill him first. Here, let me get one out for you.
Eric.
Oh, goodness, my bad.
Eric. You wrong. You wrong.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Reeled In. I'm Eric Wise. I'm here with B. Tate, Brittany Tate.
Hey.
She's out here. We're going to do a little bit of fishing, but before we get to that, she's going to share her story with us. Listen, you don't want to miss this. This young lady has been through the fire. She's been tested by fire, and she has come out pure as gold. She does not smell like smoke. Make sure you listen up. Stay tuned. Don't miss this. All right? Check it out. So we are both PKs. We're pastors' kids. We both kind of came out of the church, grew up in a certain type of environment.
We did.
And likewise, we both experienced a little bit of family separation, some divorce type stuff out of that background. Tell me about that experience for you.
So, just as a person who likes to do research, I've found a pattern in why some people spiral out of control, or they, turn to crime, or like this chaotic lifestyle, and it's usually a traumatic event that's happened in their lives. And for me, that traumatic event was my parents' divorce. I'll never forget it. I was in Florence, Italy, and my mom sent me an email. She was like, "When you get back home, I'm gonna take you shopping." And I was like, "Skirt, we don't ever go shopping together, so something really has to be off." Like, mom taking me shopping? Never been a thing. And then she just blurted out. She sent me pictures, and she was like, "Listen, your father and I are getting a divorce." Now, this was during, had just spent 4.5 months in Italy and was kind of struggling. I call that season of my life, Cinderella without a fairy godmother, because I was busting dishes and I didn't have enough money. They say go over there with $3,000. I went over there with $700, and then that got depleted because I had to pay for a visa. So I really only had like $350, and I was over there for a while. But in that time, God showed me his faithfulness. But then I was just like, what the heck is going on? Like, my parents had been married for 20 something plus years. And while I'm away, like, all hell broke loose. So you go from this loving home to my parents being divorced, and it was an ugly one. Like, anytime there's trust broken in between relationships, there's an opportunity for hate, bitterness, just destruction to really creep in and try to take hold of not just the couple, but the entire family. So I wasn't looking forward to coming home. If I was looking forward to coming home that entire semester, and then when I got that news, I was like, I ain't trying to go back to the States, because this is what I had to go home to. So that really was like the onset of my anger, my hatred towards men in general. Like, I can live without them, me, myself, and I. That's all I got in the end. That's what I found out. That was my anthem. All right. And everyone around me could see that I changed. Like, I went from this happy-go-lucky, free, caring, like, complete trust in God to like the ultimate trust fall. And I was not ready. I wasn't ready. Like, I wasn't ready. So when I got back to the States, I had men in my Rolodex. I was like, which one tonight? I used to say, like, I had men in rotation like a Ferris wheel. Like, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Like,
a Ferris wheel.
A Ferris wheel. Wow. Next 115 one coming. Yeah, so that was kind of the onset, which obviously left me open to a lot of destruction. Like, you creating soul ties, whether that was sexually or whatever, just letting someone get to know you intimately like that, just even through conversation, or if nothing, like I said, nothing sexual happening, but you just letting them into that inner court of your inner man. God don't intend for that to happen for everybody. I mean, even he had the inner court, the outer court, like, he had structure, but I was just letting everyone right into the throne room, and they damaged me, and that led to a destructive relationship. That I'll tell you a dream about how I finally got released from that. But I wasn't whole, and I thought that if my parents couldn't make it, then what am I aiming for a happy marriage for? Like, it doesn't exist. Like, if my dad could hurt me, which it took a lot of years until restoration happened, but if my dad could betray our family, that's how I felt, then who are you? Like,
Right.
the person that's supposed to love me broke my heart. I don't know you from Jack down the street. You owe me nothing. So I became very untrusting of individuals, very paranoid. I literally was like, when is the other shoe gonna drop? So that led me to a relationship. His name won't be named, because I knew I was finally healed from him when I could pray for him. And I was like, God, show him who you are, like you've shown who you are to me. And I pray that one day he finally walks in purpose, because we weren't good for each other. Met him on Tinder. Tinder's just doing its job, connecting people. And right off the top, sexually involved. That's when I found out I was pregnant. So that one was tough. You know, abortion right now is a trigger topic, like a hot topic for a lot of people, Christians and non-believers alike. But it's something that it took me a while to speak on, because prior to me getting pregnant, I was like, listen, I would never do this. Like, I could tell you exactly what I wasn't gonna do. And then I got pregnant and I was like,
reevaluating some.
You completely reevaluate everyone's decision. You completely reevaluate your decision. And I had this thing called hyperemesis. 6% of the pregnant population get it, which is basically extreme morning sickness. And it's not that, oh, I feel sick. No. I lost 30 pounds in 2 weeks. I could barely keep down one Cheez-It cracker in a capsule of blue Gatorade. Like, this isn't a full meal. This is I can't wash myself. I can't bathe myself. I'm wasting away. So, yeah, that happened. That led me into like deception, because I didn't want my family members to know. So now I'm isolating myself from my family going through this, and now it's just me and this man against the world. And so I feel like through that time we bonded over bondage. Like, me getting pregnant is what led to me smoking pot.
Let me ask you this. How long were y'all together before you got pregnant?
Whoa, I don't even think it was 30 days.
Wow.
So I always say we weren't in love. We were just linked over struggle. Because you don't know somebody in 30 days. Like, had I not been sexually active at the time, I wouldn't have ignored those red flags. I wouldn't have overlooked the things that would have been like, nah, this isn't for me. And I probably would have been back in school. I know I would have went back to school, because that's why I was going to school, was to get an MFA. I would have been done at the age of 22. And I was this close, and I got distracted. So I'm grateful. I always say, if I'm a mess up, I'm glad I didn't mess up at the age of 50. I learned it early, and honestly, God has restored everything. Like, when I talk to people now, they're just like, wait, you went through all that? And the crazy part about it is that I didn't just get pregnant once. I got pregnant twice, and it was even after an abusive situation. So I don't know if y'all can imagine me walking out my house backwards, like get on your knees in handcuffs with guns pointed at me. But we got into a domestic violence dispute, and it was so bad that the neighbors called the police on us, because they could hear it from the next house over.
Oh.
I mean, bite marks on his back, holes punched in walls, I'm bruised, he spitting on me, choking me out, I blacked out. We going at it. Mind you, drugs had been involved. So when the police got called, we didn't want to open the door, because they're gonna find Rillos and little buds everywhere. I mean, I was like, if we don't go to jail for this, we're going to jail for that. So we taking L's all around.
Right.
And love is one very strong drug. So I ended up lying to the police when they had us both in handcuffs, and I was like, no, let him go. Like, I love him. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do anything. Just let him go. And it was like everyone else around us could see that we were not meant for each other. Like, we were perfectly handcrafted to destroy each other's lives. But we were really on some Ike and Tina stuff. Like, we gonna make this thing work to the end. Like,
you feel like y'all were perfectly handcrafted?
Perfectly handcrafted to destroy each other. Because I like to say God knows what you like, but Satan knows what you like too. So that's why you have to test the fruit to see who's it from. Like, So I started to ask questions like, okay, you've been sent, but by who and for what? Because if Satan knows what I want too, he sees what I write in my journal. Like he'll send a counterfeit, and he has. And so, but then you don't add sex in there, and you like, wait a minute, you saying one thing, but your fruit is showing something else. Right. You're not sent from God. So that happened. We ended up getting back together, got pregnant again, and if I'm being honest, the first termination was sad. It was sad. But the second one is what sent me into a real deep depression. Cause I'll never forget. I'm strapped down. I'm drugged up. Cause they give you a drug, so it's like kind of fuzzy. So you take it for pain, but you kind of woozy. And the first time I heard my child's heartbeat, and I was like, that's when I knew in my gut, I was like, what I'm about to do is completely wrong. Like, this is a living, breathing being that I'm about to kill. Like, there is no other way to put this. You can use whatever medical terminology you want to put. I heard a heartbeat. Like, this was a breathing individual, whether completely formed or not. But the second time, I'll never forget, I was just laying on the table. I was strapped down, and I was in there by myself because they wouldn't let him come in there with me. And I was in excruciating pain, and they just went in and yanked life out. Like, there's no, like, just, yeah, and it hurt. Like, it hurt. And I could tell, I was like, for whatever reason, because I've always wanted boys, I was like, I don't know the gender of my babies. That's one of the reasons why I look forward to going to heavens, because I know when I get there, there'll be two people like, Mom, like, so in essence, I feel like I already am a mother, and I'm going to be a great mother to two naturally physical beings that are going to make it to earth. But that one hurt. That one hurt. So before I started smoking weed for morning sickness, because that's the only way I could eat. But now I was smoking to mask my pain.
Right.
And like I said, we bonded over destruction. So once we didn't have anything to bond over anymore, you start seeing people's real colors. Like, you got some mama issues. You don't want a girlfriend, you want a mama. You lazy, you dirty. You don't clean up. You don't work a job. You gaslight. I was manipulative. Like, I'm not even trying to sit here and say this was all him, because I was bleaching, burning drawers, and destroying phones. So this was a two-way what? Oh, B-type was when a woman is hurting, and yeah. So it was, like I said, we were a two-way destruction street for each. We didn't trust each other. Right. Like, when trust is broken in a relationship, honestly, just step back and reevaluate it, because I didn't trust him. He didn't trust me. But here we are, bonding over drugs and sex, but we didn't trust each other. Like, checking your Facebook 4 times a day, your Instagram, like, who you adding? Trust. No trust. So that happened. Finally, we at one point, I was working at a copy and print center, and I was being so manipulative. I lied to this man and said I couldn't move back home because I just wanted him to be in my life. And we lived with our copy and print boss for like some months, and we were in there physically fighting in our boss's house. Wildin'.
The boss's house.
The boss house. He had cameras in his house. I know he's looking back at them tapes like, these little kids crazy. But then eventually, my mom let me move in her house. And I never forget, one night she just asked the question. She was like, so what are y'all doing? Because this ain't no God. And I snapped. I was like, Mom, I don't like you. You're trying to destroy me. You don't want us together. Bump all this. I'm going to do all this by myself. And because he was like, I really think we should break up. Now, mind you, I made this man my whole world. Step number 1, this first place I went wrong. Don't ever make somebody your whole world, because God is always going to make sure he come in, shake some stuff up, and be like, you will have no idols before me. I made this man my idol. So God was like, skirt, I don't know who you think you are, but we finna shut all this down. So I drove off in the middle of the night. It was going on at like 11:30, maybe 12 in the morning. And I was going to drive all the way to Arkansas from Dallas. And I got halfway there. And before I left the house, because I had become addicted to not only smoking weed, but I was drinking ZQuil out the bottle, like just to sleep, to mask my pain. So here I am in a relationship of almost 2 years, lonely. So I would just drink sleeping pills or drink liquid forms of sleeping stuff. I would pop like 6 or 7 Benadryls and sleep. I'm talking about like 48-hour sleeps, like to escape. I slept. And you know, the jugs of wine you can get from Walmart for $10, I could kill one of those by myself for the day. Well, wake up drinking 2 a.m. in the morning, roll another one, unless I need to numb myself in order to live like this. So I took 7 sleeping pills, ran out the house, packed my car up with everything I could, and I got halfway to, I don't even think I got out like an hour and a half outside of Dallas, and I was like, this it, I'm gonna die. Just like that. I was like, I don't want to be here no more. I'm sick of this life. Life's not worth living. I took 7 sleeping pills, and I said I plan on sleeping, like falling asleep behind the wheel, and eventually just driving into a median and dying in my sleep. I sent a text message to my family and everything, texting my sister, texting my mom, texting my friends. I said, listen, I love y'all. I can't do this no more. I'll see y'all on the other side.
You really wanted to go. You wanted it to be over, but you're still here. What happened?
I knew that if I killed myself, I was going to hell. Like, there was no shot. No, I was not going to heaven. I knew for a fact I was going to burn in hell for all of eternity if I died that night. Like, I could feel it. I was like, there's no good feeling about this. Like, I knew I was in hell, but I knew I was like not gonna ever escape it if I took myself out. So I ended up turning my phone on. I had an iPhone product at the time, or Apple product at the time. And my mom, I later found out that she checked my phone. So I pulled inside, mind you, I'm broke. I pulled inside of a hotel parking lot, and I hear knock, knock, knock on my window, and it was a sheriff. And he was like, listen, ma'am, I don't know what you got going on, but he has so much sympathy for me. And I think that's one of the things that I've grown to do for other people, is when they're in pain, like really try to empathize with what they're going through. Because when I was at the bottom, like, people saw I was in a dark place, but they still were like, don't give up. Like, I'm not gonna let you give up, and we're gonna walk this thing out together. And this, I don't know if he was a believer, but he had so much sympathy for me. And I was like, who are you to care about if I kill myself or not? Like, you have nothing to gain from me being alive. And he was like, ma'am, you got 2 options. You can either come with us, and we're gonna put you in a custody hold, a suicide hold of 72 hours. You're not gonna be able to leave. And I was like, nah, that ain't gonna work, because I'm trying to kill myself. So I can't be in somebody's custody for 72 hours. I'm not gonna get away with it. Or you can go to a hospital. Now, they put me in a hospital. By this time, the pills are working, so I'm out of here. They take my shoes, my shoelaces, my phone. Like, I didn't even realize my belongings had been snatched up till I got up the next day. Now, y'all, this wasn't a regular hospital. I wake up the next day and I see bars on the windows. I'm like, what the devil is? I am in an asylum. I am in a mental hospital. I'm like, this ain't no Baylor Institute. I can't just walk out of here when I want to. This is some Sandra Bullock FX movie. I said, I know you lying. So I ended up in the mental hospital, and I'm talking about, I started using every degree term I knew to get out of there. I was like, I am no longer a threat to myself. I'm no longer a threat to others, knowing good and well, like, I just wanted to get, I'm in there lying. Like, I just want to get out of there. So they eventually let me out, and then my family put me on suicide watch, and I didn't eat for 7 days. I didn't eat or drink for 7 days. Like, I don't wish heartbreak on my worst enemy, because I had never felt a pain like that before. And I didn't know I could ever feel a pain like that before. Like, I was in love with this man. We shared bank accounts. We thought we were going to get married. We were looking for apartments together. You get pregnant by somebody twice. Like, literally, y'all created something together.
Right.
So it hurt, but it was like God was like, I'm finna separate you from this, but you're gonna be all right. Like, don't go back. And I'll never forget, he texted me one night. He was like, do you still love me? And I said, yeah, I always love you, but I love myself more. And I put him on the block list. thank God for that. And that's when the healing process started. And I always say, yeah, I grew up as a PK and I knew Jesus was real, but I never really felt Jesus until I was in my room. And I was like, God, I need you to hold me. Like, I really need you to cover me in grace right now, because I don't have anyone else to turn to. And I didn't have a job, so I was there all day by myself. And I would just worship. And I asked God, I said, God, if there is anyone out here that is completely sold out for you, show me who they are. And then the song came up, and it was a song called You Covered Me. And it was almost as if it was my testimony written in musical form. Yeah. And I just remember bawling I listened to that song like 7 times, and I just bawled my eyes out. And I was just like, wow, even in the midst of all this, he had been covering me this whole time. And it's been a struggle since then, because, you know, dying daily is not an easy thing to do. You have to constantly, every day, every minute of the day, rely on the Holy Spirit not to go back. But for the first time ever in my life, I knew that my soul was in good hands and that I was gonna be okay. Like, I didn't have a job, wasn't in school, no money, and I think for like a month and a half, all I did was worship. I said, if I don't do nothing else today, if I don't even shower today, I'm gonna do what I was created to do, which was to worship. So I would worship for hours on end, just sit outside in nature and just let the Holy Spirit love on me. It was like I was in a Holy Spirit hospital.
Holy Spirit hospital.
A Holy Spirit hospital. And got back in church, started serving again. And that's just confirmation. But I'm joking. It was a dark period in my life, but you would never guess that now I have a bank account, because the IRS had put a lien. I was so caught up in somebody else's world that my loans had gone into delinquency. And at 1 year, I forgot to pay my taxes. So I was getting ready to register for grad school. Y'all, they snatched everything out of my account. Gone. 0.00. Put anything in there, it was gone. Yeah. So I just cried. And I was just like, Lord, you see, I'm trying to focus on you now. And he was like, did I not say that I had plans to prosper you? Like, you gonna have to trust me. You've given me your financial life, you've given me your school life, but now I want every piece of you. Like, what is it going to take to get everything? Like, I want to walk with you every day, not just can you help pay my rent? Can you help me get out of this? He's like, no. When I say I want all of you, like, trust in me for everything. So in that moment, I was like, all right, God, I see that my life is gonna literally have, people are gonna look at it and be like, surely there's a God, because you can't go through all this stuff and make it out on your own. I have a job now. The irony of it all, I teach kids about substance abuse and alcohol abuse, and I used to abuse it. The art of decision making. Like, when he really say he will restore everything that the locust stole, he is not lying. Like, he's not.
Yeah, so own your own business now?
Oh, yeah. Multimedia consultant, photography. It's almost as if, I talked to my dad the other day, and he said, Brittany, it's almost as if you never missed a beat. Like, even in timing wise, like, I'm still graduating 6 months shy of when I would have got my MFA. I mean, it's just, when you sit back and relax.
You graduating with a 4.0 too, right?
4.0 GPA. Now that really is the Holy Spirit though too, because like, I always joke and say, like, the Holy Spirit is my best friend. He's better than Google or Alexa, but I say it jokingly, but I'm really not joking. Like, when you make the Holy Spirit your best friend, you don't miss a beat. He's not going to let you miss a beat. He's not gonna let you fall. So I learned in that dark season of my life that he was just letting me hit rock bottom so that I would never ever question him again. And back then I was hurt, but now I'm grateful, because some lessons you just have to take, you have to learn and never go back.
You told me it was so dark that you went and saw a psychic.
Oh my god! Oh my goodness! I forgot. Yes. Y'all, I was in a dark place. I actually, I was so far outside the will of God. I went to a whole witch. We call them tarot readers or fortune tellers. Couldn't tell me nothing. Spend money on them jokers too. Had a whole $40 a month prescriptions for them to tell me that my birthday was in October. It was ridiculous. And I never forget. I went and I asked her, I was like, yo, is he gonna come back to me? Is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do that? And she was like, you got some dark energy around you. And I joke now, I'm like, for a demonic entity to tell you that you got a demonic entity around you, you gotta be pretty out here. So, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it takes me to rebuke anything that I heard during that time, because I'm like, but who am I gonna believe? I'm not gonna sit here and take into account anything she said over my life anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm only gonna believe God, because what she had to say is not valid. She's not even getting her source from God. So y'all, whatever you're going through, trust him. It's gonna be hard. Like, no, I'm not even gonna sit here and try to sugarcoat and be like, oh, it's peaches and roses. No, he didn't want it to be like that. But if you do it, it'll be the best decision you ever make. Point blank, period.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you sat down and shared this with us today. I think it's gonna really bless a lot of people. You want to try to catch a fish?
Yeah, let's do.
Show everybody your little friends you got right there.
Oh yeah, I call it bitty bitty bumba, and they match with my nails. But I don't know if y'all can see it. These are crickets, and
you're gonna go put them on a hook.
Somebody gonna eat today. It won't be them, but
So we're just gonna put him on this little hook real fast. He's fine. Look at that. He's still kicking. He got plenty of attitude. We're gonna see if we can catch a bluegill or two.
Okay.
He's still kicking. Look at him. He's fine. Look at that little guy. He's upside down, but he's good. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. When it go down now, you gotta lift straight up.
Wait, this goes in the water.
Yeah.
When it hits the water.
No, you'll see when it goes under the water.
Oh, that's what I'm waiting on?
Yeah, you put it all the way down in there. He ain't big enough to do nothing with. All right, y'all. Thanks for catching another episode of Reeled In. My girl B Tate. We're gonna do a little bit more fishing. It's almost dark, as you can see, but we've had a great time. Thanks for watching this episode. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share this video, this testimony with a friend. We just want to help somebody, y'all. All right.
Bye.
See y'all next time. All right, now just put it on out there now. That's how my granddaddy told me. Just get it on. Just put it on out there.